Welcome back. Teenage pregnancy in Nigeria is very prevalent in Nigeria and has been cited as one of the leading causes of maternal mortality. UN statistics report that Nigeria has an average of 143 teenage births per 1,000 girls between 15 and 19. Factors like poverty, sexual abuse, peer pressure, and lack of sexuality education are said to be the reasons behind the menace of teen pregnancy. Now, our focus on today is whose fault is this? The parents, the teenagers, or the society? It's your view, let it count. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at YourViewTVC. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this. So, who is at fault on this teenage pregnancy matter? Because, okay,
first of all, Mara, before we get to who is at fault, I do have a problem with all these websites and organizations that are carrying out this research on teenage pregnancy, and they just carry out that research and they flare us up and then they do nothing about it. Why are you carrying out a research if you're not going to work on it? Because as far as I'm concerned, there is no reason why you're running around for checking teenage pregnancy statistics when people are still left to marry teenagers. Because when you're counting teenage pregnancies, not only the ones who got pregnant out of marriage, the other teenagers who are getting pregnant 15, 16, 14 years, and they're getting married and getting pregnant. Okay. What are we doing about them?
All right.
They're giving you statistics.
One of the major crises we have as Africans is that we don't have good statistics. You can't solve a problem when you don't know the problem.
Exactly.
Now, when you know the volume of the problem, you know how to address, finding a solution to the problem. So that is the reason for doing
somebody's passion.
Those research.
It's just to carry out research.
That will help us
give
to
you
solve
the
the
result,
problem.
and then you look for the solution.
Back to the matter.
Okay. I think that the major cause is from parents. Parents these days are very busy. We don't have time for our children, because if you have time for your children, you are their first point of contact. You are their demigod. You are the authority. You are the mentor that they, emulate. So whatever it is that you teach your children, taking them to church or the mosque, reading the holy books with them, and teaching them your own values. What I see on the streets these days is parents have left the teaching of their children to either the houses of religion, nannies, schools.
Do you okay?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Parents do have their duties, but I think to a large extent, if you're an individual, you are responsible for yourself. I think what we have to blame
What are you talking about?
No, wait.
Yeah, no, she has a point to make.
I think the people to blame is the individual herself, and then peer pressure. Peer pressure goes a long way to manipulating our brain and making us who we are. Take, for instance, a normal parent, how many hours do you spend with your child? She goes out, she goes to school, she has friends. And normally when you're a teenager, your worst enemy is your parents, your best friend is your peer group. So there are more tendencies that you get to listen to them.
I think Sansi is making a very valid point.
I disagree.
He says there are two arguments here. You're saying parents, you're saying peer pressure. I totally agree with you, because I know peer pressure was one of my own major issues. But let's come to talk about first.
I feel that everybody has their own role and everybody's contributing to this menace that we're facing. I feel it starts with the parents and then it ends in peer pressure. By the time you're 13, when you become prone to teenage pregnancy, you no longer listen to your parents. So if the parent didn't do a right job before 13, they've missed it. Now, the next phase is the society. Those are the ones that will now take you up on, okay, what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and the teachers in the school. Your first point of call as a child in terms of sex education should be from your parents. We don't have that. Most parents don't take that first step.
I think from my own experience, I want to share my own experience. Growing up as a child, the only sexual discussion I had with my mother was the day I started my period. I will never forget that. That day was the day. And that was she gave me all the lecture, and that was it. Everything else I learned as I grew up. Okay. And nothing that helped me was probably I always say something about my Islamic background, because you had this holiness. There's this thing about this, you have to have your hijab, you have to be very holy. In fact, we used to look at Christians as, you guys are so liberal. They let you go to parties, I used to be very, very holy, and so that foundation kind of helped me to keep myself.
As I said, it starts with the parents. When the parents lay the right foundation at 13,
but I didn't have that sexual education that
the foundation the parents teach is not just about sexual education. It's about morals. It's about values.
God bless
things
you.
that you don't do. It is not right. It is not. You know the right and wrong down. Then the society builds on it in such a way that it has become permissive to have boyfriend, girlfriend all around you. Do you understand? And they meet up in corners and we no longer do it and say, What are you doing in that corner?
But
Leave that
My
place.
point is, I am not saying that parents are not doing their job. Parents are doing their job, but the parents will not force you to imbibe all those morals. It is you that gets to decide, okay, my parents have taught me this. Do I end up taking this up? Because you have cases of, I always give this example, you have cases of beautiful children who have amazing parents, and let's not forget the fact that a lot of these ladies we see that we're using as example, their parents are probably somewhere else, and they're probably university students. Now, when they started up in year 1, they probably were this Sister Mary, and then right now they're turning out like,
okay, let me give you
one second. We'll come to that. But see, another angle we've not talked about is poverty, because we just talked about baby factory now, and poverty is another reason why people actually go into this, because they promise you 100,000 naira or 50,000 naira. That's another reason why, you know what? Let me just have this child, sell it, and at least I can survive.
You know, one of the things about teenage pregnancy is the fact that you have unprotected sex. That means not just the fact that you're having sex, but it is unprotected. Now, why would you have unprotected sex? No lady, even if you decide to have sex, should do. It's not about the pregnancy alone.
Why would you even have sex at all?
No, because we on this platform, because I've always been the one that say, they say get up, wake up, talk about it. People have sex, so don't minimize it. So we cannot avoid that fact, but we should educate people to the extent that they know that they should be protected.
Absolutely.
Now, when I was in school, I know cases whereby men would tell them, okay, I don't want protection, I'll give you more money. And because of that, they would willingly let themselves down. Yes.
Not prostitutes, though.
Not prostitutes. Yes,
relationships.
One-on-one. Yes, relationships based on aristo. What we call aristo. Relationships, such relationships, the old man will tell you, I'm not used to doing this with my wife with protection, so I won't do with you protection, but I'll settle you better. You know, and when I was in school, I want to tell you, when I was in school, I was always living in fear of that my mom could just come in anytime. My mom would just come into the school and say, where is stop?
Which takes me back to the
parents
issue of
part.
parents.
So I could not just afford. The time she was calling me and I'm in school. My mom was in front of the school. It was not a, I couldn't, it wasn't
Sometimes peer pressure, I agree. But that is secondary. Like I said before, your parents, they're the first. How they lay the foundation is what will determine when your friends are now telling you this is what you should do. If you were close to your mother or your father, the first time somebody tells you that kind of thing, you will go and tell your mom. My friends hold on. I'm not saying all the time. Now, if all parents are doing what we see these days, our parents they don't even have time for their children. A lot of parents don't have time for their children.
Sorry, Maura, I always use myself as an example because I know myself better than any other person. I did not grow up with my parents. At the age of 11, I was traveling all around the country, living with uncles and aunts and all of that, you know. And even when I had my first period, nobody was there to tell me, no, you don't sleep with men, you don't do this, you don't do this. So I had to learn on my own, and then I turned out this way. I haven't gotten pregnant, you know. So I'm just saying
that's but if I use my own self as an example also, I know that peer pressure, because I remember, I would never forget that the closest I've gotten to a man when I was younger was because my friend, when she found out that I had never been sexually active, at this age, what are you waiting for? I think you'll be tight, oh. Well, no, you can't do that, oh. That's Robbie, don't mind them, you know. She kept telling me that, and I was thinking, okay, hey, I'm in trouble. Hey, am I going to be in trouble? And you know what? When there's a guy I had a serious crush on, he came in from England to the US then, and when she heard that he's around, this person's around, though. She drove me to his house. Imagine. And left me there overnight. I'm in university. I should be smarter, right? I should be smarter. But she's my girl. We're very, very close. So I just assumed that, okay, she knows what she's doing. Thank God, this guy, I knew him from Nigeria. So he had a bit of respect for me. He's like, okay, Mariah, I know you're not ready. So it's okay. You know, we just hung out and we just sit there. But if he was ready to take advantage of me, he would have done it that night. So I understand that peer pressure thing she's talking about, because you really feel like, listen, this
your peer.
Yes.
Where did they learn it from? Other peers. Those other peers, where did they learn it from?
Looseness of the parents.
But like, what are you guys talking about? There's a foundation.
There's something I need to correct.
Different kind of parents. We have liberal parents, we have conservative parents. The society is mixed.
Yes.
Jumoke just said something about the fact that when somebody, when you're faced with such a situation, first thing you think about is your parents. That happens in the first phase.
If you are very close to your mom.
My mom and I are very, very close.
I didn't have sex education too.
And I actually went to meet her the first few when they say toasting you, you know. And actually, but after a while, I just realized that, man, I'm a big girl now. You know, you feel like they're curbing you too much. So there's a rebellious stage.
What did I say?
Now, during that rebellious
stage, the first time somebody says something like that to you, if you're very close to your mom, you go to your mom.
It should be your mom.
Or your dad.
Okay, let me take Felusho's call. We'll come to your point. Good morning, Felusho. Are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. Please, this is an interesting topic which I want to really educate some of our people, our parents. You see, parents have the first responsibility, you see, on their teen, on their children. You see, when you have a child, you shouldn't give your child to people to train for you. At the age, from age 1 to at least 18, you are supposed to decide for your children. They don't know anything, for God's sake. You know, you can't do more than what you have in your mental region. It's what you know that, and these children, they don't know anything. So it's the parents that we impart to them first. They are the foundation.
Yes.
So it is based on what they impart into them that people, they now begin to build on.
All right. Thank you so much, Felicia.
From parents. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Felicia.
Morayo, we are left with houseboys and housegirls, who are the first sexual partners of most children while they're still 11, 12. Those children now get sexually active and start teaching their own peers. Then you say peer pressure. Who left the first child to houseboy or housegirl?
There is another angle we're not looking at. Media, television. I think it does have, because a lot of these teenagers, they watch high school movies, and in high school movies you see 15-year-olds having sex and getting pregnant. And what makes you think they wouldn't try it out?
I shouldn't call a brand, but I do watch a lot of young movies, and I see it becomes permissive to be rude to your parents because that's what you see on the movies. And parents, it still all boils down to the parents.
I want to address something that FOLUSHO mentioned, which I've heard somewhere before. A lady who is into education and children growing up, the children developmental stages, said something very, very profound, and I held on to it many years ago. She said, listen, all this story about you being a friend to your child is rubbish. You're a parent first, and you must be a parent till at least 18 years old or 19 years old, and not a day before. So that one that your children is 12 years old, look, it's my friend, it's just, no. You are a parent, you discipline, you show them what they're supposed to do. Then once they're an adult, you direct them. After then, we now become 19 years old, absolutely, now we can now start gisting as mommy and then.
Because you have already laid the foundation. Because the foundation is very important. Look, I was exposed to peer pressure. You are lucky, Sanzi. I didn't have sex education from my mom.
Yes.
But because of the religious foundation that I had, when they were saying this, that, I've been in your situation before, taken to a guy's house and left there, and I knew I wasn't going to do anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
all right, let me take Austin's
the foundation is right.
We'll come to Austin. Good morning, Austin. Are you there?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Hello? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead. Try again.
All right. I think the very first thing, we have to blame the parents. Most of the parents, especially, they don't have time for the children. For example, I used to go on the morning walk between hours of and 7 every day.
We're having trouble hearing you, Austin. So sorry about that. I can't hear you. Can't make out what he's saying.
But did you get about getting on a morning bus with children, but then we didn't hear after that.
Okay, let's have a lot of tweets. First, Kelly K said, all the parties are involved. Some parents don't give their kids sex education, while some teenagers just rebel even after they've been taught. And Pascal says the parents should be blamed. Noel said the teenager should be allowed. The teenager who did it to have his way was 90% guilty, and her parents 10% for being careless. Alimi Adiola says teenage pregnancy, who is to blame? Loss of cultural traditions and religious values, and most parents lack information on sex education.
All right, let's come to the issue of media, because Sansi raised that point, which I think is profound. How do we as parents control or manage this media intake from our children?
We need to set boundaries, and we need to teach what is right and what is wrong. Don't just block off everything and say, all this is bad. You don't involve me. Let them watch it and let them realize this is wrong. This is the result of when they watch it. Educate children, because when you don't let them know what is right and wrong from the house, somebody outside will give them the wrong information. So from the house, the parent needs to set boundaries, set clear boundaries.
All right, let me take Mrs. Oduma's call, then we'll come back to this. Good morning, Mrs. Oduma. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't keep you for too long. Now, talking about boundaries, you see, it's very important for boundaries because remember the time Joy said that she doesn't like her children listening to Rihanna. You know, those are the kind of things that you need to let your children know what they can watch and what they cannot watch.
And why?
Yeah, okay, and why?
And why? That's the educating part. Because when you just say don't watch it, that is when the children will go to. And they will sneak out and they will watch it. Now, if you define it properly and say, this is the result of doing this. This is how you become a negative example. My mom does that a lot. She'll say, close your eyes. I'll close my eyes. Say, what do you see? Nothing. Say, that is the way men are. When you're gone, they don't see you anymore, they move on. Your life is your own responsibility. Every single day I say, close your eyes. And you see, that's by practical example.
When I found my period, when she told me, I think I was 13 or something, she said, those men, they're like this. He's like this. You know, so that thing stuck to my head for the rest of my life.
It's about
I say again, I'm like this. Let me not people go there.
But it's the why. It's the why part. You see, there's a lady in my, I grew up on an estate, and my mom always used that as a bad example. That look at her now. Everybody slept with her. And everybody says it, as in it's virtually like a street gist. There's a lady in my area that she was loose. Everybody.
Let me pause you because I'll take Mrs. Ojo's call. I don't want to miss this call. Good morning, Mrs. Ojo. Are you there?
Hello, good morning.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
I'm a first-time caller.
Yay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. The parents are to be blamed for these teenage pregnancies.
The parents.
And over-reliance on Western culture. Too much exposure to the Oyinbo culture.
True.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Talking about see, I like the fact that she just raised that point. When you go to church, you see all these little children, you know, their altar neck. Are those things bad for kids? You know, you see the kids, when you say too much exposure.
Very high-heeled shoes now at 4.
I mean, I'm wondering, my first high-heel shoe was like, goodness.
I was a teenager.
I remember when I bought my first high-heel shoes. I mean, I was really excited. I paid a lot of money for that shoe. But I was already grown. I was working then. I'm like, no, these little children. I'm like,
So
who
it's
buys
so
the
cool to see
alternate?
them on heels.
Who buys the alternate?
God bless you.
Who buys the shots? You know, there's some little things that is within the purview of the parents. Now, because as just the same dress as a miniature virtue, and you want to look like, you want to be friends with your child, you want to look cool, so I buy this size for myself, an alternate for me, and an alternate for my little daughter. And you're not teaching. It's not wrong. Like everything, it's not wrong. It is the fact that they don't know
why.
It's the why.
That's what I've grabbed from everything I said. That why factor is very important. Let me take Shola's call. Good morning. Good morning, Shola. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Long time.
Sister Doctor, you were little concerned. You were little concerned.
What is it?
You were little concerned.
What is that?
My sister, Stancy, you are very, very lucky. Continue to thank your God every day when you wake up. The society is more deadly than the way you see it. No problem. When you become a mother, you will learn so many things. I like the way you agitate on air. When you are there, you will know. And this month will come down then. You see, the society is the main problem. Yes, the parent, but don't let to the frustration of the parent that we talk about. It's the society. No work. The woman is selling on the roadside. A banker who has just been sacked end up selling bread. What a frustrating life. You don't want to know what is going on in the street. The men are no more men. Men of those days, when men are men, you know what it takes. You can talk to your children. Your wife will obey you for who you are. But the society is so crushed.
Yes.
May God help us.
Thank you very much, Shola. That brings us to her point. Yes, the parents may be at fault at the foundation, but you see, the reason why the parents are leaving the house girls because they have the economic problems. They have to go and work. They have to do the extra. So that's the society Shola is talking about.
That's superior argument because in the days of our mothers, the men will go out and the women will stay at home, which is why I'm working hard now because I have seen the society around me that you must stay at home with your children. Leaving them to nannies that they're being sexually abused at 2 and 3. When they become 14, 15, what happens?
Okay, all right. But we have to round up on that point. But I have a commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about our celebrity fashion. Stay with us. We'll be right back.